Hello YouTube, this is Terminator K2 coming with another deck profile. Today is UA. I find this deck quite fun. It's a TCG only deck revolved around sports. UA stands for Ultimate Athletes. I find this deck quite ironic because in real life I hate sport, I don't play it at all. So I decided to build a deck revolving around sport to see how it works. And it turns out quite good. They all have the same effect of you can special someone's card from your hand by returning one UA monster on the field back to your hand, and you can only special summon each of them once that way. It's good. I quite like it. So let's start. Starting off with it, I have one UA Playmaker, 26 defend attacker, and level 8. You don't really run one of him. You don't even need to run him. And his effect, other effect is when another UA monster you control attacks, you can make this card lose exactly 800 attack for the other one to gain 800 attack. So that's quite a good effect, especially when you try and get over hive monsters. Usually I'll attack with him first if I go on the field, then get another attack with a different monster to increase its attack. They're quite helpful, more situational. Good if played right using the UA Stadium. Next I run 2 Dreadnought Dunkers, a level 7 basketball player, 25 attacker. He does piercing damage, and when he does damage, he can destroy one card in the field. So if you get UA Stadium on the field, summon him, give him to 3000, equip him with UA Power Jersey, put him to 45, attacks twice with 45, blowing up a card every time he does damage. In 2 UA Blockbacker, a 27 defender, level 7 American football, and then his effect is once per turn when your opponent special summons a monster, you can change its battle positions, and if you do, negates effects. So it's a permanent effect as well, so I special summon a monster that would annoy you later on, as long as that's on the field, negates effects straight away and change its battle position to deal with later. Next is Rival Rebounder, level 6, 22 attack, 23 defense, normal summon in attack position. When this card is normal summoned or special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can special summon one UA monster from your grave or hand. So in most cases, since he's level 6, then it only requires 1 tribute. If he's in my hand and it's my turn, I'll normal summon him and by tributing a monster, and then bring back that tributed monster using his own effect. You can run up to 2 or 3. Recommended for 2 or 3 of him. I run 2 because I own 2 and I find him better at 2 because I don't get his effects as often. Next is UA Goalkeeper, 28 defender is what you want him at, level 6 as well. He's soccer. This guy is just once per turn during either player's turn you can target one of your UA monsters, then once that turn it cannot be destroyed by battle card effects. I don't get him out that often, but he's quite good because there's 28 defense. Just sits there doing nothing in lots of cases. Next I run 3 Mighty Slugger. The Amares of the deck. Level 5, 23 attack. When he attacks, your opponent can't activate card effects until the end of the damage step. So get him with UA Stadium powering him up, he gets quite high and your opponent can't mirror force you or anything damaging for when he attacks. Yeah. Then I run 1 UA Perfect Ace. I would rather be running 2 of this card, but I can't seem to find anyone who has a second one. 25 defense, level 5, baseball, and when during your opponent's turn, when a card effect is activated, you can discard a card to negate it. This is a once per turn effect. But if you get him out first turn and you're versing Klee or Necroz, just negate their ritual cards or other effects. But I'm trying to get 2 of him later on. Then I run 3 midfielder. I had to get a proxy for this card because, again, no one has any. He's the only level 4 in the deck, and you have to have run 3 of him, 12 attack, and then his secondary effect is useful. It's just once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one other UA monster you control, return it to the hand, then switch to a different UA monster from your hand. So it's good in some cases, like if during your opponent's turn when they activate something a card effect that targets one of your other UAs, you bounce back to your hand, summon a different one. And as you get other effects out later on as well. Yeah, but you want to normal summon him to get the first effect of UA Stadium to add. So you got to make sure he's in your hand. Try not to get him destroyed as much as you can. That's it for the UA monsters, and then the only other monsters I run are 2 Summon Monks. When normal summoned or when summoned, set to defense, can't be used for tribute summon, and then once per turn I can discard a spell card to summon a level 4 monster from my deck. So since this deck revolves around getting UA out, midfielder out really quickly, this deck has lots of ways of doing that. So summon a monk, discard spell, summon midfielder, special summon a different monster, then later again normal summon and repeat. Now that's it for my monsters. Next for my spells, I have 3 UA Stadium along with 1 Terraforming to get it out. The Stadium is once per turn when you normal summon a UA monster, you can add a UA to your hand. Then once per turn when you special summon a UA monster, all UA monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. And this isn't just until end phase, it's permanent, so it stacks up as long as you keep that one monster on the field the entire time. So that's where some of the good plays are. You have one monster on the field, just slowly stack it up, and then you just kill your opponent quite quickly. Good for getting over towers. Then I have 2 UA signing deals. Another way of getting out this card, I can pretty much search any of your monsters. It's just when you activate it, special summon 1 UA monster from your deck, then you take, it's effective negated, and then you take damage equal to its level times 300. So the only card you ever really want to be summoning with this is midfielder, so you take 1200 damage. But you can summon others if you need to. Just like tribute fodder. Next I have 2 power jerseys. This card, it's equip card. When it is equipped to the UA monster, the monster gains 1500 attack and defense. Any battle damage it deals to a monster is doubled, and if it destroys a monster by battle, the equipped monster can attack again. So you have this equipped to a Mighty Slugger. After you've got him boosted by 500 to 28 plus 15 is 43. Attacks twice, and your opponent can't activate card effects in response. It's a good way to get around stuff. And then if the equipped monster is returned to the hand for a special summon of a different UA monster, you can return this card to the hand from the graveyard. And then the last part of this effect is, during your next standby phase, banish the equipped monster. So you kind of want to have the monster you equip to back to your hand by your end phase. Otherwise you kind of lost a good monster, and then that's in your grave. Then 1 UA turnover tactics. Just 1 quick play spell. It's when you control 2 or more UA monsters, you can return all monsters on the field back into their owner's decks. Then you can special summon monsters, special summon UA monsters with different names up to the number of monsters you shuffled into your main deck, but they cannot attack this turn. And if you do, your opponent can then special summon as many monsters from their deck up to the number of monsters that were shuffled into their main deck. So it's a good way to troll Eggsy or extra deck based monsters. So if your opponent has only a field of extra deck monsters, return them all to the extra deck, and then your opponent doesn't get to special summon anything because nothing was put back into their main deck. But I haven't actually had many opportunities to use this except against my friend who was an XZ build. Next I have 2 reinforcements for the army. Just add 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster. So this is just I only have 2 because since I run 3 midfielders, I don't really want to end up using all my midfielders and then drawing a rota later on. So I always like to run less search cards than there are monsters that can, the effect can search. This is pretty much only can search midfielder. Then I run 3 the Monarch Stormforth. Just once when I would tribute summon a monster, or tribute a monster, I can tribute one of my opponent's monsters instead. So let's say I have that in my hand and one of my level 5 or 6s, I can tribute it to get my monsters out. And it makes just things a bit easier if I can't get midfielder out in my hand. Next I run 2 Reasonings. When I activate this card, my opponent declares a level, a number between 1 and 12, so level. Then I have to reveal all cards from the top of my deck until I reveal a monster that can be normal summoned. But if that monster has the same level as the number the opponent called, all cards get sent to graveyard. Otherwise I get a special summon it. That's good because most times when I've used this card, people instantly think I'm using it for something called level 1. And then I end up pulling my level 8s or 7s out quite quickly. Then my friends sometimes call like going, 7 top card was my Playmaker as level 8. And then I have 2 MSTs, just standard, just because I had room in my deck and I'm missing cards at the time. So that's kind of just a filler at the time, for the time being. Then I have one Feast of the Wild level 5s. Just I can special summon 2 level 5 warriors from my deck, not my hand or graveyard, but they're effects negate and they can't attack, so basically this is a good way of just doing rank 5 plays. Activate that, summon 2 of my dead level 5s, XZ, use that. Then for traps, I do 3 penalty box. Because lots of people have said this actually isn't that good of a card, but I find it helpful just because when it's on the field, it's continuous trap. Once per turn, when a UA monster I control battles an opponent's monster, I can banish that opponent's monster for 2 standby phases. And that's pretty much that. And then its secondary effect is I can banish it from my graveyard to add a UA spell to my hand. So in most cases, this card is sent to the graveyard by the effect of Reasoning. So then I can banish it to add one of my UA spells, usually Power Jersey or Stadium to my hand, which makes things quite easy. And then my last card in my main deck is 1 Royal Decree, just continuous trap that negates all other trap cards on the field. Because since this deck only runs the 4 traps, this Royal Decree doesn't hurt it that much. And that's it for my deck. I don't actually have an extra deck for this at the moment because I don't have much money and the closest shop is quite a while away from here, and some of the online shops around, like YGO Singles that I use, don't have the cards I'm looking for or are too expensive for me, so I try to find them other ways. But yeah, that was my UA deck. Thank you for watching and subscribe.